Hey Divi Nation, welcome to a brand new weekly live stream we'll be doing to provide some extra value in and around the Divi Design Initiative. And for those of you who don't know, the first wave of this new initiative is to give away a new Divi free layout pack every single Monday. And this is part of our larger mission, which is to make you, Divi Nation, the most empowered community on the web. So these layout packs are created by our super talented design team, and they're published on our blog each Monday and now gone over in detail by me or another member of the Elegant Theme staff every single Tuesday. So in this Divi Use Case live stream today, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to build a multi-vendor marketplace using the Photo Marketplace layout pack. And I'm going to be using the WooCommerce plugin and also the extension of WooCommerce plugin product vendors. And I'm going to show you how to properly set up multi-vendor functionality to your marketplace, how to create a vendor registration page, and more. And we will also be using elements of our existing layout pack to build any new pages that we may need for our marketplace. You can download this layout, this photo marketplace layout, for free using the link in the video description. I have a link to the blog post where you can go ahead and download it. And you can also find a link to our product page where you can find out more about Divi, the Divi theme as well. So I hope you enjoy. All right, so looks like we have our photo marketplace homepage here. And whenever we get started on a new layout, it's always important to go through some necessary steps. So it's a good idea to check out that article I have a link to in the video description. It's actually the last link in the description. And it's 10 steps that you can use to whenever you're creating a new layout pack for your website or creating a website using this new layout pack. You can use these 10 steps, and it kind of helps you, structure some best case practices for doing so. So I definitely encourage you to check that out. We're going to briefly fly through some of the setup process of a new layout pack, but for the most part, I want to jump in and tackle the multi-vendor marketplace setup. So this is kind of what I have done so far. I have already imported my layouts. So I'm going to go to my dashboard here, and I'm going to go to my Divi library. And while I'm doing that, go ahead and say hello in the comments. Tell me where you're from, and we'll have some people from the Elegant Themes staff there to answer any questions that you may have. All right, so here's my layouts that I have imported already. And as you can see there, here they are, all 7 of them. There's 7 pages including in this layout pack. So once they are imported, you're going to want to go ahead and add new pages for each one of those layout packs. And I have extra pages here because I have the plugin already installed, but you can see I have an about, a categories, a contact page, a home page, a landing page. I have a pricing page, a seller page, and that's about it for our layouts. And then I went ahead and created a menu. So we've imported our layouts. We've added a new page for each of our layouts. And we've also created a menu. So just go to Appearance, Menus, in your WordPress dashboard. You can see I've created my menu. All you would have to do is, select all of your pages over here and move them to your new menu once it's created. And after you create your menu, you can go ahead and set it as the prime menu for your display location and click Save. And that's kind of the basics. Other than that, you would probably need to go ahead and go to your theme options I'm going to go to my theme options real quick. And it's always a good idea to go to your color picker's default palette and, grab some of these custom colors used for your marketplace here. For example, if I go to my home page, I can see in the layout, there's a lot of colors being used, like this, blue for the dividers here and the buttons. And so an easy thing to do is, go in there and grab, open your module and grab that color, and then go back to your default palette and enter it in there so you have it ready to go. All right. All right, so if you're just joining us, what we're doing right here is I'm going to be using, this is our Divi Use Case live stream, excuse me, and today I'm going to be using the our new layout, the Photo Marketplace layout pack, to show you how you can build a multi-vendor marketplace for your own website. I'm going to be using a WooCommerce plugin and an extension to that, which is the vendor product vendors plugin. And if you want to access this layout pack, you can do so in the description below. There's a link to the blog post. You can go ahead and get it, download it. And if you're interested in Divi or need the Divi theme, or interested at all in becoming a member of Elegant Themes, you can go ahead and find a link to our product page in the description as well. And while I'm on this note, I also have links to the plugins that I'll be using for this use case live stream. So it looks like Facebook took a little bit longer to go live. So welcome to all of you who are just joining us. So, all right, let's continue on. Don't forget, let us know where you are, and don't be shy. Ask some questions as we go along, because I'm gonna be tackling a lot. You probably have a lot of questions. I can't guarantee I'll get to all of them, but we sure will try. All right, so right now we're just going over some kind of best case, how to set up your layout for the first time type stuff. Some of you are already familiar with the process, and right now we've just kind of gone over adding a default color palette, which is also, a good step to kind of get ahead of the game. And in my theme customizer, I'm just going to go over here and didn't load, didn't click the button. So once I go to my theme customizer, I'm going to go and grab this color blue here. And I'm just going to inspect it and get the color that way. But you can easily go in and use the Visual Builder and open up the module and get the color that way. All right. So once my let's see, my customizer loads, I'm going to go to General Settings. And then I'm going to go to my layout settings, and then I'm going to go to my accent color here. And this is important to add, especially when you're working with WooCommerce, because WooCommerce is going to pull from this default accent color to, use the color throughout their, single product pages, shop pages, stuff like that. So it's important to add your main secondary color or main color of your theme right there. All right, and I'm just going to publish that. All right, so a lot of what's going to happen is first is we're going to need to download our plugin. So I'm going to go to the site for the plugin that we're using here, and it's called, I must have closed it out, but it's called a product vendors. So And this is what the actual landing page or page where you can go to get the plugin. This WooCommerce is free, so that's going to be free for you. This extension though is I think for a single site it's $79. So you can get it from their website. There's a link for this in the description below. This, of course, is being used with our WooCommerce plugin. And here's the WooCommerce plugin here. You can find it in WordPress.org under the plugins, or from your WordPress dashboard whenever you're looking to add a new plugin. Many of us are already familiar with WooCommerce. So WooCommerce and this plugin product vendors are the main ones to use for this setup. And if we do have time, I do want to kind of introduce this. It's a third-party plugin, but it's well documented, or it's well supported, and it's called WooCommerce Products Filter. And just to give you an idea of what this does, I'm just going to show you on my shop page here that I've already built. We're going to get to in a little bit later. But if you notice this sidebar here, it has some filtering options for your marketplace here. And this is a photo marketplace, and got some mock content here with some mock categories, and you can sort by, these cool things like product categories and even the vendor, whoever created or is selling this item. So, and it updates, on this page, use some Ajax and stuff. So it's a pretty cool process to kind of filter out your products as you're going through. All right, so hopefully we'll have time to get to that. It's again, it's called it's called WooCommerce Products Filter. So make sure and grab that link in the description if you're interested in getting that. All right. So let's go ahead, and once you have your plugin, your product vendors plugin installed, I'm going to go back to my WordPress dashboard here. All right. And once you have it installed, you're going to see some new things being added to WooCommerce. And one of those things would be when you hover over your products. Well, actually, let me back up a moment. If you go to your plugins here, I'm just going to my installed plugins. You'll see it here, WooCommerce Product Vendors. All right. And then it's going to add some, since it's, a WooCommerce official extension, it's going to work really well with it. So if you hover over WooCommerce, once you have the WooCommerce plugin installed and this product vendors, I should have mentioned that. You must have WooCommerce installed already and the product vendors as well. And then you hover over WooCommerce, and then you'll see the settings tab. Click on WooCommerce settings, and under WooCommerce settings, you'll see under the product tab, you'll see this option here for vendors. So if I click on that, you can see some of the the settings I can customize for my multi-vendor setup, like payout schedule. How am I going to be paying commissions for my vendors? Right now it's set to manual, but you can kind of schedule it out. PayPal mass payments environment. That's just for testing. I've got a sandbox account there. But this, one of the kind of negative things I guess you could say about this plugin is that right now it's kind of limited to PayPal. You can add, other payment gateways like Stripe, but it's going to add more customization. It's not really set up for that. So really PayPal is the best bet for this one. But it kind of utilizes this PayPal mass payments thing to make it really convenient for you to pay out your vendors using or whatever the commissions may be. And so you just kind of go through here and set up your settings for that. You can set a default commission on a percentage base. Like if I wanted to set it, I don't know, 20% or something like that. And that would be the default for all of the vendors. All right, and so these are some display settings for whenever a user clicks on to see a certain vendor from their product, you can customize what you want displayed on that vendor page. Just to kind of show you what that looks like, I'm going to go to all right, let's go to my site here for a moment. And let's go to my shop. And you see how I have my shop, and I already have products, and we're going to get to that. But each of your products has now a sold by with the vendor name there. So if you can see that, let me zoom in. So sold by vendor 3, it's just mock content now, but vendor 1, and on and on. If I click on, let's say I click on vendor 2, all right, so you see this is kind of bare bones, but it has all the elements here. You have the name of the vendor, you have the logo, it's just a mock logo I put in there, a rating for the vendor, some description of the vendor, like a write-up, and then their products are listed underneath with the ability to sort those products. So this would be kind of your vendor page. And whatever you want displayed there, going back to our settings, can be customized here. All right. Once you're done, go ahead and save your changes. And then let's go ahead and check out some other settings that kind of go into setting up your vendors. If you hover over products and you go under, there's another additional link that's been added since you uploaded that plugin. It's called vendors under products. If I go there, you can see kind of like categories or posts or whatever. You have now vendors where you can see and edit each one of them. I have some mock vendors already here. And this mock vendor actually was one that I used to join to become a vendor using the vendor registration form, which I'm going to get to in a little bit. But if I wanted to click in and edit one of these vendors, I could do that. And you can see all of these settings here. It's similar to kind of a new user when you have a new user in WordPress with some additional elements like a logo, a profile. You'd want to enter an email for your vendor there because that's going to be the correspondence that you, the shop owner, is going to use to send them, correspondence. And notifications, like when somebody makes a purchase of one of their products, they'll get notified with that email they put in there. Vendor admins, this is actually whenever you set a role, and I'll show you that in a second, but you can designate certain roles for vendors. Like you can set a vendor admin, which is the kind of the go-to, the normal vendor role. And you can also set a vendor manager. And so you can set a vendor to be a manager of other vendor admins. So it adds kind of a level of another role level to that vendor, to whatever vendor you add. All right. Here's the commission again for that vendor. You can override and set a specific one. there's your commission type again. It's set to percentage. You can set also an instant payout. So whenever a person buys one of their products, it's going to automatically pay them their commission for that, or whenever the payment processes. Okay, so, and then the PayPal email they'll need for their PayPal account. All right, that's about it for that. That's how you kind of go in and update your vendor, but I'm going to go back, and this is how you add a new vendor. You kind of go over here, right here on the left side of your vendors page, and you add a name. I'll just go ahead and add vendor 4. Add a slug, I guess. So vendor 4. And don't just click add new vendor because you have these additional settings. I missed that the first time. Don't forget to click on that one. And then it pulls out all the settings that you would need. And we've already gone through those already when we looked at how to edit it, but you get the idea. You would set up your profile, your vendor email, and so on. All right. Now, once you add a new vendor, that's how you do it manually, by the way. We're going to get to how you can have a registration form so that you don't even have to do it. It'll just automatically happen, which is pretty cool. All right, so once you add it, I'm going to go and back here and show you to edit the vendor. And I think it's not there. So let me go back here. Sorry. All right. So once a person registers to become a vendor, I'm going to get to that, but I wanted to show you the different roles. So you're going to go to actually users. That's where I messed up. So that was kind of confusing to me starting out. So if you want to change the role for your vendor, you actually have to change the user information. So whenever they become a vendor, they also become a user for your website. So if you go to your all users here, you'll see my new vendor that was registered through the form right there. All right. And I know my role. I promise you, there's a place for you to change the role. And I'm not seeing it right at this moment. All right, let me check my notes for a second. All right, I think we'll get to it a little bit later. So I wanted to show you the different roles at this point, but we're gonna have to skip it and come back. Sorry about that. All right, so what we're about to do is I'm gonna show you how to build. I just showed you how to add a new vendor using the manual way, but I'm also going to show you how to use a registration form to do the same thing. All right. So if you are just joining us, welcome to our Divi Use Case live stream, where each week we take a free Divi layout pack and show you, practical ways to use it on your own website. And this week I'm using the Photo Marketplace layout pack. And I'm just showing you how to add some multi-vendor functionality to that marketplace. So I'm using the WooCommerce and WooCommerce extension product vendors, and we're basically setting it up for a multi-vendor site. So if you want the layout pack that I'm using, there's a link for it in the description. There's a link to the blog post where you can go in and download it. And also, if you're interested in getting Divi or more about becoming a member of Elegant Themes, there's a link for that as well. All right, let's keep going. How are we doing on the comments? Oh, my mouse isn't appearing. That's weird. Sorry about that. All right, so all right, Tech Reality says bought the full membership and never regretted it for a second. Awesome. Somebody from the Netherlands. All right, welcome. And Montreal, Canada. All right, awesome, guys. I really appreciate y'all coming and checking us out. And I hope you enjoy the rest of our live stream together. Let's keep going. Now we're going to create that registration page. So to create the registration page, there's actually a short code. Now, whenever I see that there's a short code being used to display certain things, I kind of get excited because I know I can plug in that short code into a Divi layout. So just bear that in mind. You know, whenever a plugin uses a short code or something to display the content, you can that shows you that, or that tells you that you can use it within the Divi builder. So that's a good thing. And I mean, within limits, obviously, there's going to be certain limits to it, but at least we'll be able to frame it with whatever design we want to frame it with. And so I've went ahead and created one. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my vendor registration page that I created. And so what you would do is just simply create a new page. Clicking too fast. Sorry, I'm missing my link there. So I'm going to edit the vendor registration page that I created already, but you'd have to go and kind of create this page yourself. But I'm going to walk you through what I did so we can get a feel for it. And so the main thing you want to see, I want to show you here, is in the, hold on. Okay. All right, so if you notice, there's a short code here. This is the main short code that is used to display that registration form that we want. What registration form, you ask? Yeah, the registration form for vendors. So if a vendor comes to your site and wants to become a vendor, they can use this form. And what it'll do, it'll set them up. Once they fill out that information, it'll set them up on the back end of your WordPress website, and then they can go ahead and the owner, the shop owner, can go ahead and just kind of confirm that, and then they'll be ready to go ahead and then once that's done, they'll have the ability as a vendor to upload their own products to the site and do all of that work, and you won't have to. All you need to do is sit back and approve the things that they're putting in there. So that's really cool. One of the good things about this plugin is that kind of gives the power back into the vendor's hand to create the content, to produce all that stuff. So let's check out what this registration form looks like. And what I've done is I've just kind of used the, created a new page. So let me just show you what I did here. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a name. Sorry, it's a bit laggy sometimes. My when I'm using this kind of local install here, it's getting laggy with all the things I have open. So let's go ahead and create a registration page. And let me go back. Almost forgot I need to grab that short code. Right there. I'm going to copy it to my clipboard. Then I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to use the visual builder here for a moment. And then once that loads, I'm going to give a pull from one of my already included layouts from my layout pack. I'm actually going to use the categories layout pack. So once the visual builder loads, I'm going to come down to my menu here, click add from library. And I'm going to add the categories layout. All right. And yep, I got hung up. There we go. All right, so I'm going to use the categories one. So once that loads, finally, I'm going to, customize it. A few things to do to customize this layout for a new page. I'm just simply going to go to my settings for my section here. I'm going to go to the design tab. I'm going to go to layout here. Sorry, I edited the wrong one. This is a full width header, so I need to edit the module. Apologize. Go to my full width header module here. Then I go to my design tab. Then I go to my layout. And then you see how it says make full screen. Well, I don't want it to go full screen for this page, so I'm going to simply click that. And then we're done. And then I'm just going to, edit my text here to say, registration or vendor registration. And I can go ahead and update this title here, to say complete this form to become a member or something like that. All right, I don't need this this row here. I'm going to delete that one and that one. And I'm going to add a new row, one column row, and then I'm going to add a text module. And again, what I'm doing here is I'm showing you how you can simply create a new page using the elements of your existing layout to place a shortcode to display content from a third-party plugin. So in this case, I'm simply going to paste in that shortcode there. And click save. All right, and I don't need this stuff down here, so I'm simply going to delete it. All right, and so it's not showing the form right now because I'm already logged in, so I'm going to have to log out to do that. And then you can customize the footer. So that's basically what I've done. Let me go ahead and show you the vendor registration form that I already created. So now that, that one's, I just wanted to walk you through that process really quickly. So this is the one I've already created here. And then let's go ahead and check out what that looks like in an incognito browser. So let me just take a moment and switch browsers here. All right. Okay, so let me go ahead and transition that one for you. Wrong one, sorry. Okay, there we go. Is that not the right one? Okay, I don't know how that was broken for a while, but now you can see what the actual form looks like once you put the embed code, or sorry, the short code in there. So there's the vendor registration. You enter your name, login, email, and then the vendor name. The vendor name would be what is displayed on their product whenever they're selling it. All right. And something about the company, and then click on register. And after they register, they're going to get this success message. Your request has been submitted. You will be contacted shortly. All right. So, and then they'll get, what we would do, or I'm sorry, what the shop owner would do is then go back and make that vendor, change that vendor's role to a vendor admin. All right. So they've logged in successfully. They've joined as a vendor. And now I'm just going to, while I'm here in this incognito browser, I just want to show you what it looks like from a vendor's perspective on the back end of the, or when they are logged into your site. So it's, they have access to, their dashboard here, which, looks like this has a summary of the sales that they have and products and all that. They also have the ability to generate reports or look at reports, things like that. So it has some really neat stuff. It has the ability to go to your products and then start adding new products, which is great. Also, they have some store settings that they can customize by including their logo, like we went through whenever we added one manually. Well, they can do all that here when they register. So it's definitely probably preferred to go ahead and have this registration form set up so that they can do it themselves. All right. So that's kind of an idea of the power that the vendor can have when they log in and start using your site to sell their products. All right, so I'm going to transition back here. There we go, to our site, and I'm going to all right, so now that they've registered, you're going to want to go ahead and switch that role for them. And I might have to actually, come to think of it, I might actually have to register someone else in order to see that role come up. But what you would do essentially is go and to the back end of your dashboard here, go to that user again. That's right. That was the wrong one here. Go edit the user. And I was clicking on the wrong one. I apologize. So here it is. So this is the one. This is an example of a vendor that joined through the registration form that we just walked through. And what you do as a shop owner is you come in here, and the only thing you need to do is go find this role here. Right there, role, and where it says vendor admin, you're simply going, it's going to say this initially. It's going to say pending vendor, and you're going to go in and just change it to vendor admin. And you can also see the vendor manager option there that I mentioned. And the vendor manager then has the opportunity to manage other admins. So there you go. Change it to vendor admin. In most cases, that's all you need to do. And then they're going to, once you update that, they're going to get an email notifying them. They're going to have the password set up and all that. All right. So there you go. That's how you go through the process of setting up a vendor and a vendor joining themselves using the registration form. All right, so let's go on. If you're just joining us, this is our Divi Use Case live stream, and today I'm going through how to add a multi-vendor marketplace to your new photo marketplace layout pack. If you need the layout pack, it's in the description below. There's a link to the blog post to download it. Go ahead and get it. Also, if you are interested in Divi or becoming a member of Elegant Themes, there's a link to there as well, along with all the 3 links to the plugins that I'm using for this use case. So going on here, let's briefly go over the products. So I already mentioned that a vendor can add their own products, which is great. And so when they do that, they're already going to be assigned, or sorry, their vendor username is already going to be assigned to their products. So let's, for a moment, if I go to my shop page, and then all right, so if I go to my shop page here, you'll see, remember, it's sold by vendor and whatever the name is. That's going to automatically be applied whenever they're doing it themselves with their account. So we don't have to do it. But let me just go ahead and show you, whenever you go to add a new, if I go to Divi, products, and then to go to all, I'm going to go to all products just to show you some of the products that I already have added as mock content. But you would go in and add a new product. And I'm just going to go to this one here. This would be essentially like your photos, right? The photos that you would be offering. And so the goal here, when we add a new photo as a product, or whatever your product may be, is to kind of get it set up correctly so that the user experience when they go to checkout is what they want. And in this case, we want a downloadable product because we want them to be able to download their image once they buy it. So you put your product name, you give it a description there, and then you add your category that you have set up. You can add new ones as well. This one would be like backgrounds. And then here, probably can't see it very well, but now you can. Here you see the option to add a vendor to this product. So you can do this manually by setting up your own products. Of course, set up your product image as well. In addition to that, you also have these options here. So you can see it a little better. Notice under my general tab, I made it a simple product, but make sure right here you click downloadable. You want a downloadable product. When you click downloadable product, or when you click that checkbox, this will pop up where you can add your downloadable files. In this case, it would be, you know, the high resolution image or something like that for them to download. You can set a limit and an expiration date on that as well, on that download. And so after you've done all that, you've got an image ready to be sold as a product. All right. I know this is a lot, so ask questions. Hopefully we can get to them in time, but this is, looks like everybody, just checking on my comments here. All right, you're welcome to Christopher. It says, could you show how the platform owner can get a commission for every transaction? All right, so I think I went over where you can go for commissions, but actually maybe I didn't. Let's go briefly. I think that's pretty close to next on my list, but let's just jump there real quickly. Whenever you want to customize your commissions, you can do so here. There's a spot in the WordPress dashboard to do so. This is where you do all your payouts and stuff. So thanks for this question. I want to get to it. I wanted to get to this anyway. So if you look at vendor commissions, I didn't really set a commission on these vendors, but you would, if you did, you would see the total here for each one of these products. So what you're seeing here are purchases. So these are mock purchases that have been made on this product. And then what you see then here is for each purchase, you see how much commission there is to pay. And what you need to do then is with this PayPal functionality built in, you can do these really cool bulk actions like pay out all the commissions at once, which is really a great option there. And then there's other ones as well, but this is initially where you handle all that stuff and manage the commission payouts and all that. All right, good question. Let's go on. You can, after you add new products, you would want to, go to your, set up your, once you have your products, set up, then your WooCommerce plugin will automatically have set up for you these extra pages that it's needed to kind of conduct the business that's needed for an e-commerce site. So let's go back to our back end just to show you those pages for a moment. If I go to all pages here, these are considered your WooCommerce pages. And those are the cart page, the checkout page, the My Account page, and the shop page. So the shop page is, let's go ahead and view that. Unfortunately, I know this is kind of a pain, especially when we love Divi so much and we want to use these layouts. WooCommerce is kind of limited in what you can do to the design of the shop page, with the Divi builder. It's not really easily done. So what you would need to do is add custom CSS to this to make it more customizable. So this is the shop page here, and as you add products, or as a vendor adds products, you'll see them pop up here. And then this step here, this last step, which I'm going to go over in a moment, but before I do that, let me just remind you that if I go to My Account, and these are, again, the WooCommerce pages. So there's a My Account page. There's the, you see how it's kind of bare bones, but because this page, unlike the shop page, like the shop page and the category pages within there, WooCommerce aren't customizable because they don't use that short code that we talked about earlier. But this My Account page does. So if I were to, if I wanted to, I could go in there and grab the short code that's being used for this to generate this My Account page, and then create my layout that I want, paste it in there, and build a custom looking My Account page. With limitations, obviously, because you're gonna need to. You can change the text sizes and the colors of this stuff using the modules, right? The text module. If you put the short code in a text module, you can do that. So I wanted to mention that because I know there, last use case live stream I did on the fashion layout, we had some questions about that and how limiting it was to use WooCommerce in the styling and all that. But there are ways to customize these WooCommerce pages to some extent. So make sure and take advantage of that. All right, so lastly, we may have a little time here. A few things I want to mention is we can, if I go to my shop page, and if you notice, if I click on a product, we haven't done this yet. All right. Now, ideally, I would have a separate sidebar here for this, or make it full width so I wouldn't have this searchable thing that I've created from just my shop page. But you'll see that there's a category here of food. And this is considered, if I click on that, a category page designated by WooCommerce. But what you could do if you wanted to is grab this link up here. Sorry, this product category /food, whatever it is that this category is, grab that link, and then you can go back to your, once you have that link, you can go to your categories page in that layout. That's built into our photo marketplace layout. I'll just show it to you. So remember, grab the link to this specific category, and you can use that custom link and then add it to your categories page that you have here. So if you can list all your categories, you can create like a custom page here, and then you can make this blurb here that link. And then once you click on it, it'll take you to that specific category page that's built into WooCommerce. So that's just another option if you want to add certain customizations. And now for the last plugin here, we got a few minutes. Just going to show you. Once you download the WooCommerce plugin called WooCommerce Products Filter plugin, you're going to see some settings for it, and I'm going to find it. Oh, so you go under WooCommerce, and you go under Settings. And this is really cool because it adds it to WooCommerce over here as a tab. So now you have a Products Filter tab. And then you go in there, and it's kind of got a really, a fairly nice UI, and the ability to customize your different fields for your filter, your search filter on your sidebar or on your widget. So you can see I added a search by text widget, and go back to my shop page. But I added a search by text, a search by price, and this gives them that got a range slider there, and some other ones like a checkbox for product categories. And these are the ways I can customize the search. And there you can see them there off to the right. And it will integrate with the shop page so that it communicates and updates it in real time as you click on these filters, which is really cool. To add this, once you customize this, there's you would simply go to your go to Appearance, go to Widgets, go to your where you add your default sidebars and stuff like that. And what you need to do is find this widget here called WooCommerce Products Filter. Okay, so then drag that in here to your sidebar, and then you can see everything that you've added to your in the settings of your search filter will pop up using that widget. All right, I think we're out of time. Any questions maybe I can get to real quickly before we end? Hello, Mohammed. I'm doing fine. How are you? All right, let's see. Cool. I think we're pretty good on questions. All right. All right, so Richard says here, yeah, so the description of the vendor role seems incorrect. Specifying a vendor admin simply means to add an additional user that can manage the vendor-specific backend settings. That is 100% correct. So if I misspoke earlier, that is, I apologize. And then the vendor manager would then be able to have a higher role there to manage those vendor admins. So good. Thanks for clarifying. All right. I think we're about done. All right. Well, thanks, guys. That's it. That's all I have for you this week. Thanks for tuning in. If I haven't answered all your questions, I apologize. But make sure and get them in there if you can while we have our team in there. Also, be sure to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our blog newsletter and our YouTube channel, because we get these free layout packs every Monday. You want to get notified of that. And so no matter where you get your information or updates from, if you've subscribed, you're going to get a notification of any new content that we have. So make sure and do that. Also, don't forget Divi Nation coming up Thursday. And thanks again, and we'll see you guys soon.